This is Levittown, Pennsylvania, a new suburban community of 60,000 people midway between Philadelphia and Trenton, New Jersey. With its giant shopping center, winding lanes named for flowers and trees, it is fairly typical of communities all over America, where families are pursuing the American dream to give their children a better chance in life. Levittowners are people of modest means. Nearly all are young people. A large proportion are veterans.
With World War II ending in 1945, the 1950s was considered to be a post-war era, with many veterans coming back from war and looking for a place to live. The GI Bill, which was enacted in 1944, provided veterans with many benefits, including access to cheaper mortgage rates.
The 1950s was also the height of racial segregation. In 1954, a landmark United States Supreme Court case, Brown versus the Board of Education, ruled that the racial segregation of public schools was unconstitutional. The 50s and 60s were a time for major transitions in regard to race. Like any other town or community, Levittown was experiencing these things as the rest of the country was. There was also a huge transition in regards to housing. More and more people were moving from major cities to homes in the suburbs. People needed more space in order to accommodate their growing families. Because the homes were affordable and conducive to the increasing family size, the Levittown community attracted thousands of people who were in search of the American dream.
Levitt & Sons began the construction of Levittown in 1951, with the first families moving in during the summer of 1952. Construction of the Levittown community finished in 1957 and included 17,311 single-family homes divided up into 41 sections.
I was here before the first house. That's why they bring me in for all these interviews. There was no Levittown when I came here. I watched the first truckload of stuff come in. He had a team of lawyers sitting at the table, and for $100, $100 you could sit down and buy a house. Then, like I said, he made different models to suit different kind of people. Some that had a family,
Right.
some that didn't. Then he had some two-story homes too. And he had the price ranges where no matter what your station in life was, you could fit into that category. Like they had a rancher, which started about $8,400. Then the Levittowner about $98. Then they had a Jubilee. Then they had a country clubber for the more elite people and the professionals.
Every aspect of Levittown was designed with the idea of community in mind. Levittown included everything you could possibly need in one town. Schools, churches, shopping centers, recreational places, community centers, parks, and of course, homes. Although there were various layouts and styles of homes, the outside of the houses looked very similar.
He was a community developer, not a house developer. He developed communities, schools, and when you walked in there, his selling point was you're going to get a new home, you're going to have all your appliances, you're going to have all your grass, you're going to have everything that you could possibly want in a house. You're going to have brand new schools for your children to walk into.
William Levitt, the designer and creator of Levittown, created master blocks that were about a square mile in area and included about 3 to 5 neighborhoods. They referred to these neighborhoods as sections. In each section, there were about 300 to 500 homes. As for the overall layout of the town, the houses were for the most part located in one section and the stores and shopping centers were in another.
Because most original Levittown homeowners were young, middle-class families, there was a big sense of closeness and community from the start. Levittown was surrounded by a lot of large companies such as General Motors and U.S. Steel. The job opportunities in and around Levittown are what initially attracted a lot of the same type of people to the area, and naturally, they developed these close-knit relationships.
All the people were in the same socioeconomic situation. It was all blue collar, and it was all people who had this excitement and this rush, really, because you weren't taking a long time to make friends. You made friends right away because there was a lot of promise. Everybody moved in. People were moving in at the same time. So there was this vitality and exuberance. And for me as a kid, the key word for me was freedom. Because I got on my bike and I rode around and I rode to school. I went to the pool all day. There was this sense of the kid being 10 years old and, wow, I can go anywhere I want around this area and not have to worry. And that they were really, and the camaraderie in the community.
Despite the perfect facade, Levittown was no stranger to controversy. In 1957, William and Daisy Myers became the first black family to move into an all-white Levittown. Although there were no written rules, William Levitt blatantly said he refused to sell his homes to black families. The Myers purchased their home from an original homeowner, and chaos immediately ensued. The crisis in Levittown would eventually make national and international news.
The Myers' home is modestly furnished, and their late model family car was bought on time. They're very close to the Levittown norm, except in one respect. William Myers, Jr. and his family are Negroes in an all-white community.
I heard lots of rumors. I was busy telling people not to believe them.
What kind?
Well, that they had been sponsored. Chiefly, I think people resented, after they heard this rumor and believed it, they resented feeling that some outside group had deliberately moved these people in, that they were sponsored and paid by an outside group to do this very thing. And I had been told on good authority that that wasn't true at all, and so I told people that it wasn't true. I'm sure that a more reasonable attitude is going to prevail in this community, and I have great faith in the people here, and that they'll soon find out there's nothing to be afraid of.
Why did you select Levittown to live?
We were looking for a place to buy a home. We looked at Levittown, and we liked the homes here. We liked the advantages that Levittown seemed to offer in comparison to other cities. And we understood that it was going to be all white, and we were very happy to buy a home here.
How about your children? Have you talked with them about the Myers?
We have tried to keep the discussions away from the children. I feel that it's something that we adults should solve without bringing the children into it any more than we have to. We're doing it for the children, but I don't feel that they are old enough to understand the problem as it is.
Do you think a Negro family moving here will affect the community as a whole?
Definitely.
In what way?
I think that, well, the property values will immediately go down if they are allowed to move in here in any number. But the whole trouble with this integration business is that in the end, it probably will end up with mixing socially. And you will have, well, I think their aim is mixed marriages and becoming equal with the whites. But the only way they're going to do that is by education and by bettering themselves, not by pushing in the way they have here.
What has been the effect of the Myers coming here?
Well, it's created a great deal of tension, not among the neighbors, because we all feel the same. But it's naturally made everyone tense in their home. I mean, this is affecting our homes, and it's bound to create tension. It's the subject that's talked about all the time.
But there are others who are for the Myers?
Yes, I've read about them.
For what reason, do you think, do they support the Myers?
Frankly, I don't know what reasons they can have for it. If they are homeowners in Levittown, I don't see what reasons they can have for it.
Marriages, and that's eventually what it's going to come to. If children are raised together, they're not going to think of anything of marrying together.
Well, I just could not live beside them. I don't feel that they should be oppressed. But I moved here, one of the main reasons was because it was a white community. And that's the only place I intend to live. If I have to leave Levittown, I will do so.
While the demographics of Levittown have stayed the same over the years, it appears that the sense of community is lost. Based on the original homeowners that we interviewed, they feel that Levittown is no longer fulfilling its original purpose.
One of the reasons many people were initially attracted to Levittown was the affordable housing. Today, however, the homes are priced comparably to any other town. There is a lack of social interaction between neighbors, dramatically changing what was once such a close-knit town.
Although Levittown has changed, there are many other communities that have attempted to replicate William Levitt's original idea.
You know, he's trying to do something not like Levittown, but Disney is trying to do these fabricated communities. And very good friends of ours are in
Celebration.
Celebration.
Yeah, we just
watched like a documentary on that last week in the class.
Yeah, and they're interesting.
That's actually a Levittown.
It's like
That's
a
a-
Levittown. It's
That's
a
a fired
different.
up Levittown, you know, at the other end of the scale. And celebration is pretty neat, but that's basically the plan that Levitt had. Now, you know, he did it on a different level at a different time of life.